Do you want to know what therapy would look like if I was doing it with her?
Yeah.
She would be sitting well with a pair of virtual glasses on inside of an MRI machine. And I would be taking MRI pictures of her brain as I flash images across the screen of those glasses so that I could start getting an idea.
What part of the brain is lighting up?
What are the radical stages of the brain, and what are the stimuli that start leading the patient toward those radical ends?
Well, Ted, I think we're segueing into something here that you've already begun your study of the targeted individual thing.
Yeah.
And we figured there are targeted individuals. Because when I set up that, and by the way, our little website's getting members now, okay? But when I went, I thought, well, nobody's done this. But I went to look for my website, and I had a hard time finding it because there were millions of people who consider themselves to be targeted. So there are people who are targeted, and there are people like Anthony says who are targeted, trying to sell them these helmets with magnets and stuff like that because they're scared. They know something's wrong with them. Something's going on.
That's just what's happening on the net.
Yeah.
That doesn't have anything to do. That doesn't even begin to touch on day-to-day operations of these people's lives.
No.
You know, in shopping strips and out of the sight of others.
Right. And see, so Anthony's on the side. I mean, I think that's why that we got sucked into this is Anthony and the other guys and everything are saying, these two guys are some kind of investigators. They go to other states and they rattle people's cases. Maybe we need them to go over here and rattle some cases over here. And I don't give a damn what they say about you. You're a goddamn psychologist, okay? And I don't care what here's this old crippled up songwriter from Austin. Well, I've written 5 books, motherfucker. All right? I've written 5 books and about 4,000 articles.
We're not going to do anything to disabuse other people of their low opinions of us. The lower their opinion, the better, because that means that we fly under the radar.
Right. So you remember when we were up there in Utah, and Maxwell and John were over there, and you were telling, and I said John or so, one of them was poking a little fun at me because of my beard, my hair, and my desert coat. And you told him your partner's over there poking a bear with a stick. And he said, what do you mean? It was that field book. Now, I publish out of Salt Lake City. They know that name. The only thing I ever think about colors is like any man, when I pick out underwear, I try to buy brown. Yeah. You know, women can do that. Women, I took panties off a couple women in my life and everything, and it's amazing how clean they are. You know? Yeah, generally, you know. Well, anyways, that's off the touch mode. But there are targeted individuals. They are out there, and we might just be the two guys that say, okay, this is what's really going on. They're not using laser guns or anything, but they are doing this. You know, they are doing this. And
wouldn't you say that there's a fairly large contingent of people living on this planet whose life skills are insufficient?
Yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't you say it's also true that if somebody can hurt you and get ahead in the doing of it, they'll do it?
And Anderson's rules of life. Remember that? People are no damn good. Money will buy everything. And if you nail two things together that's never been nailed together, you will become a millionaire.
Right. So if you wake up in the morning and you say, there's some incompetent people out there, all I got to do is go find them, and I can profit myself from the doing of it, then there are people who do that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are people who have become what I would call just natural targets of opportunity.
They are targets, I think I see where you're going. That there are certain people that are targets, and you can see it on their back. Okay.
Yeah.
And there are people who are perpetrators, predators, who are looking for targets. You know, and they will find these people, and they'll use them up. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing with Puck is,
okay,
she's not a target; she's a perpetrator.
She's also, however, a target. Because in between being a perpetrator, she's not a perpetrator all the time. She's only a perpetrator when she decides to be a perpetrator. That's the time she's just fucking around. This targeted individual thing is falling together in a really comfortable way.
Good.
So, what I'm doing is I'm developing lots of different plans for this that can be introduced at any time, cobbled together, nailed together in different ways to take Pat Anderson's view of it. Service exit plans if needed. Just lots of stuff that's getting developed and put into a great big toolbox, because what we're talking about, I finally realized it, what we're talking about is, since it's already been declassified for us, courtesy of a society that does not provide mental health services, we're just simply talking about reclassifying the entire spectrum of mental disorders and calling them something else. Now look, if you have a schizophrenic or a bipolar person whose level of paranoia is high, and they frequently are with those two disorders, and they want to see themselves as a targeted individual rather than a schizophrenic or a bipolar person. That's fine with me. That's fine. That's at least something that they agree with me. I'm a different kind of therapist. I don't think that that in order for a bipolar person to get better, they have to accept that they're bipolar. I don't believe that, because it's not going to do it. Okay. So what's important is a whole series of other things that are going to happen downstream from the diagnosis. So fine, let's diagnose them as a targeted individual. That's fine. But let's make that therapy something that we know falls into line with curing people with bipolar illness or schizophrenia.
Well, when Beth Thomas, 6 years old, opened her mouth on that child of rape special,
yeah,
and started explaining how she was going to kill her whole family and all this kind of stuff, the word "rat" had never been said.
Right.
And doctors had to say, "What the hell is this?" Yeah, and besides yourself, the only person I've seen that understood it was that lady in that one private therapy center in Brigham City, who showed me an MRI of a child's brain and showed me the rat. Here it is on the left and right side.
Right.
And she showed me that you can actually see this in an MRI. Yeah. Have they given your granddaughter an MRI? So no, they haven't. And she just looked at me like, what the hell?
Well, you see that this is a neurological issue. So if the idea is to create heightened activity in a certain part of the brain, and that's being blocked by this congenital defect, then let's look at ways that neural routing can be rerouted, from one place to another, and see if we can't get to the place we're trying to get to from where we are without having to go across the wasteland.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that idea.
Yeah. And there's something more wrong with Kitty than somebody when she's 2 years old touched her food. There's something more there. Because what's wrong with her is deep-seated. Okay?
Yeah. Because you can't imagine it. In fact, I have yet to find anybody who can actually imagine it. I've read books by people who have written about this, and they still cannot imagine it. They themselves cannot imagine it. And that is just what you're looking at is the result of laying in a crib for maybe 72 hours without a response to your crying, and suddenly you're swept wrapped up in a bed, changed, and some grease put on your rashes and shit, and then bam, you're back in the bed by yourself again. You know, what you're looking at is people who are slowly growing up in a society where they have coded messages that are facial expressions that you don't understand because you never learned them from a caregiver. Nobody ever held you in their lap and showed you proper facial expressions that identified first with vocalizations and then later on with more complex types of communication.
And that is why the RAD is always after the caregiver.
Right.
That's understood, that the RAD will destroy the caregiver first.
Right.
And
because they know. Even a rat knows that its mother is supposed to raise it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Even a possum knows that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, so if the mother doesn't raise it, and it comes across its mother later in life, liable to be a fight.
Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. I told Pam this. As bad as Jackie was, as weird as her life went and everything, she was still mommy. And Puck does not remember nor understand why mommy never came home one day. Okay? She never understood. She doesn't know the whole history of what happened. All she knew is one day she was playing on the porch and mommy was smoking a cigarette and she never saw her again. Yep. Boom, just like that. So, what's she trying to do now? She's trying to destroy Pam because she remembers Pam as being mommy.
Well, you take a couple of conditions, like, well, in Jackie's case, just butt laziness.
Yeah.
And a crashing sense of disappointment and reversed expectations in the midst of deep, angry pity for herself. And the mess, and so that's all a bad situation. And you treat that with a couple of adults who are trying to out-infantile the other and the CPS, and you get what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Something wonderful has happened in Brigham now. Used to, when the doorbell rang, the kids all would run and hide. They had special places.
I like roaches.
Yeah. Now, when the doorbell rings, they think a package has arrived or something, and they all run for the door. You know, nothing bad's going to come into the house now. They run for the door. You know, and if they want to see the CPS, all they can do is play in the back end of the orchard. They can look right through their damn window. You know.
Right.
It humanized things, and looking after Puck was the problem.
Because these two cases are closed. So the boy, I think about golfing, right?
Right.
Or to the driving range. I got a great video. I'll send it to you of him hitting the ball. Well, trying to hit the ball. He finally does hit it. This kid is a mixture of enormous rage. Just, beyond, but he's got it. He's got it firmly camped down under a
comes into this transgender thing, where I believe firmly that little boys need to have a male role model and teach them to be big boys, okay?
Yeah.
When they're wandering around loose like that kid is, looking for identity, and they identify wrongly against their genetic code, then you have this confusion that ends up being transgender, okay?
Well, on top of that, you're a willing victim. Don't discount that.
You will become a targeted individual.
The way you're talking about this is causing me to broadly redefine it, but it needs broadly redefined. It really does. We need to breed the tinfoil hats out of this ourselves.
Right.
We need to stamp that out ourselves. We can do that. It isn't bigger than us yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we can stamp that out.
Yeah. Well, it's just like anybody, like when we talk about the Danites, I know there's some people kind of look sideways. Yeah. But no, we met them. We've seen them. Okay. Talk with them. They're real. They're real. But like with Anthony's group, there was a guy last night. I can't remember his first name, but I was watching on Anthony's page. He got into one of their discussion groups, and he starts ripping and tearing at Anthony and then everybody else. Okay? And he was there simply to stir them up. He didn't solve any problems. He didn't help. He didn't say, well, I don't believe this. Here's what I believe. It was rip, tear. All these people are looking for answers, All these people want to hear what we've got to say. And this guy, all he wants to do is hurt, and make fun of Anthony. Anthony likes to use that anonymous mask, okay?
Yeah.
And call him a coward. Well, you're nothing but a failure and a coward because you use that. No, Anthony does that because he's been doing this for a long time. And if he wasn't targeted when he started, he damn sure is now, okay? So he knows. He doesn't put his face out there or pictures of his daughter or whoever, a wife or girlfriend or anything. And on Facebook, when you got all these perpetrators out there that are just batshit crazy. I call myself the Butcher, but everybody knows my name and they know what I look like. And they know what you look like. Practically everybody else that writes for us is behind a persona because there are perpetrators out there that will use any means necessary to attack you. If you're conservative, shut you up, file endless complaints to Facebook, endless complaints to YouTube, anything to disrupt what you're trying to do. Anything. And
I learned that from the Crazy Eight.
Oh, God. Oh. Yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you somebody was good. I was talking to Joey last night. She's talking about Scott Densach.
Yeah.
One thing that old boy was good at, and that was jumping in people's assholes.
Yeah.
They targeted him, and he stood up there in his little Caesar's Palace and ripped their asses up. Fast.
Well, he got out of the Bolero. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was when it took his head to do it. He just do it.
Yep. That's it. He was going to help us. I should have realized how sick he was when I talked to him when we were up in Utah. I would love to come down there and get in the middle of it. Man, I just can't. And I didn't know it. He was too sick to walk across the floor.
What was the matter with him?
It was like AIDS, but it wasn't AIDS. It was some kind of condition. I can't remember what he called it. They diagnosed it right before he died. It's some kind of condition that his body just rebels, like he had Agent Orange or some shit. He worked as a laborer.
But what it amounts to is this. I figured out B's problem in getting as deeply involved in this as I have. And that is that B can't decide if he wants to be the happening guy or if he wants to be next to the happening guy. This is something, to use your expression. He
greatest lesson that Michael Lee taught me when he gave me that term.
Yeah.
He told me the first time Johnny Carter Cash called him and wanted him to come play bass for him at another venue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, you're going to have to go do the show by yourself tonight over Penny's in Nashville. And it scared me. What? You know, he said, look, Bill, listen. There are tourists out there in the audience. You're on stage in Nashville. So you must be a star. Go out there and you be the happening guy. Because everybody wants to get next to the happening guy. Okay?
Yeah.
And I got up there and I kept thinking, I'm the happening guy. And I started talking to the audience, joking about the songs I wrote and stuff like that. And they livened up to it. You know? They livened up to it. And I became the happening guy. Like you said, I'm on stage in Nashville across the street from the Grand Ole Opera. I must be happening. I must be. Maybe I missed something here, you know?
Well, today's Wednesday, by the way. Which means that we're doing our edit on this first chapter.
All right.
And hopefully I'm doing the voiceover if my voice will hold up, you know, for the recording.
Yep. Hey, I got a call from Temple. Let me call you right back.
Okay.
Hello?
That was awfully quick.
It was a bot. You always sell a bot. From a local number, Temple. You know, calls from Puck always come from Temple and Belton. So I take those. But you can always sell a bot because you'll say, hello, nothing happening here. Whee! Something like that.
Yeah.
Like a bot. Okay. So anyway, you were saying about the happening guy, and I think we're going to bring the fresh light of sanity to this targeted individual thing. I'm not sure how they're going to receive it, but we're not going to lie to them either.
Well, they're going to love it because of the story.
Yeah, you're right.
This story is going to be candy for them. It really is. When we hear, I still have some stuff to do to this first chapter, but I'll get it done before the evening. Mm-hmm. And when you hear it, you'll understand this is candy for them. They will sit on the edge of their seat and probably not be content to wait a week for the next chapter. It's going to be. It is going to. This is just for them. It is only for them. It's not for anybody else. It's just for them. And
I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to support Anthony on his page with this,
mm-hmm.
and we're going to go in there like gangbusters. Just do what we do, you know, and just
we're just going to be characters in this thing. Mm-hmm. I had thought I was going in an entirely different direction. Suddenly it hit me. What I need to do is sit down and decide what do I want to have happen, and then just write it out like it's a book.
There you go.
And that's what I'm doing.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
I'm writing it out like it's a book. I'm in it. You're in it. Anthony's in it. You know, I'm not gonna. Everybody will get a different thing. Mm-hmm. But it's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
And the research is intense. Coming up with there's a lot more. Anthony thinks, well, once you got the M2K Ultra and the V26 GT stuff down pat, now you got it. That's the bullshit. That is so just scraping the outside. In fact, that's not. I haven't even keyed your car good. You know, if you call that research. I haven't even really scratched your paint very good with my key. There's a culture around this, man. And these big homeless camps have entire TI communities. They're like a gang. They're like gangs out there in the homeless community. If you want to call it a community, which I think is a fucked up thing to do, It's not really a community. I mean, it is. It's just like heroin users are a community, or OxyContin users are a community, I guess. But they're so diverse and not linked up. I don't know why you call them a community. You know, a community, I can call Ralph. I've got his telephone number and on a magnetic thing on my refrigerator. I can just call him, and he helps me come over and fix my lawnmower. That's a community. You know, these people are not a community, but we're going to have to call them a community.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think what's going to do them a lot of good is when we get in here and they see we are taking you serious, we are listening, we will give you answers. We're not going to laugh at you.
We're giving you something that you fucking love. It's like straight sugar to a diabetic, or straight heroin to a, you know, to a big loser. They're going to love this story. This story is going to be there. It'll be the beginning of a series of stories. This niche audience, and will grow. See, I've just decided that in the process of doing this, we're going to grow this community. We're not going to do what we can to cure them and make them go into the night. We're going to grow this community. We're going to put people in it that are not TIs, that are claiming to be TIs, so that they can be part of this community.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I am going to make a store run.
All right.
And edit what we're doing here, and you edit what you're doing. As I learn more about what's happening to Puck, I'll keep you cued in.
Okay, I need you to ask her.
Okay.
Just ask her straight out, all right?
All right.
Tell her, you know, I've been talking to Ted about you. You know, he brings you up. We talk about you a little bit, not a lot. And he, you know, I was asking him how come he wasn't coming to see him, and he said it was because he felt you weren't comfortable with his views. And he's the kind of guy that he just doesn't like relationships where people aren't completely honest and open with each other. That's just the way he is. And, you know, he did ask me to ask you if you wanted to come, you know, or call.
All right.
Just put it to her like that. Give her the opportunity to say, no, I'd rather not talk to him. And which I think she deserves that.
Yeah, at least that.
Forced therapy never works. You know.
No.
Just try to make that a horse drink water. So, yeah. See what you can find out there, and we'll talk after a while.
All right, sounds good. I'll be here.
All right. Be good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Got no traveling shoes.